Good afternoon, Trump's family. Welcome back to my channel. Have a great Friday, everyone, and God bless you. God bless America. Let's get into the news. And it looks like January 6th, Liz Cheney, Adam Schiff, and all these clowns are getting so desperate to find a crime. They're willing to invent a crime in order to use that crime to center the DOJ to go after Trump in order to arrest a member. The Democrats have this October surprise, hiding in the wings where many have speculated the arrest of Donald Trump, or the attempted arrest on Donald Trump. And this would spark something massive if they weren't to try to do this. However, that is their stated goal, is to prevent Donald Trump from running for re-election in 2024. Their stated purpose is to try to arrest Donald Trump. This is what Liz Cheney said just a couple of weekends ago on one of those mainstream media news sites they're talking about. That is the purpose of the January 6th commission put together by Nancy Pelosi and the rest of these Democrat frauds who all continued to work to go against the American people's wishes. Instead of focusing on things that impact everyday Americans, they're solely focused on retaining their power and putting away their political opposition. This is what they have come together to do. And of course, Liz Cheney's dry at the center of this. We know, more than likely she's going to lose her re-election bid in Wyoming. She's down by 3,040 points right now, in polling over in Wyoming. She's begging Democrats to vote for in Wyoming, and that won't even be enough to overcome the deficit that she currently is right now against Harry Hegman. And so she's going to do whatever she can right now with the power that she has in order to try to sabotage Trump moving forward. And of course, anybody else that is close in proximity of Trump. It says in an effort to weave witness tampering narrative, January 6th panel says Trump tried to call witness or White House support staff talking with January 6th committees, either inventing crimes now. It is now clear that the January 6th committee is attempting to weave a witness tampering narrative in an effort to indict Trump right now. Liz Cheney on Tuesday revealed that the January 6th panel notified the Justice Department that Trump called one of its witnesses who has not testified yet. According to Cheney, the witness did not take Trump's call and instead told their lawyer about Trump's attempt to speak with them. After our last hearing, President Trump tried to call witness in our investigation, a witness you have not seen or not yet seen in these hearings. Cheney said on Tuesday, excuse me. That person declined to answer or respond to President Trump's call, instead alerted their lawyer to the call. Their lawyer alerted us and the committee has supplied that information to the Department of Justice. Cheney said, let me say one more time, we will take any effort to influence. We will take any effort to influence witness testimony very seriously. She warned. According to CNN, Trump tried to call a member of the White House support staff who was already talking with a January 6th committee. CNN reported former President Donald Trump tried to call a member of the White House support staff who was talking to the House Select Committee investigating January 6th. Two sources familiar with the matter tell CNN, the support staffer was not someone who routinely communicated with the former president, and was concerned about the contact. According to the sources, and informed their attorney the call was made after former Trump White House aide Cassidy Hutchinson testified publicly to the committee. The White House staffer was in a position to corroborate part of what Hutchinson had said under oath. According to sources, CNN was told the position of the witness Trump tried to call but not the person's name. Details about the witness Trump tried to contact have not been previously reported. We saw special counsel Robert Mueller use the same tactics. Mueller and his goons charged Trump associates such as Roger Stone, General Flynn, with process crimes that stem from their fishing expedition. Recalled Trump's 2016 campaign manager Paul Manafort was indicted for witness tampering by Mueller's goons. And it appeared that the January 6th panel is using the same tactics to indict Trump in order to prevent him from running from office. So, they're doing whatever they can to desperation is set in. They're going to do whatever they can in order to prevent Trump from running in 2024, if that even means trying to indict him or arrest them. So there you have it. This, of course, you guys know, I know. This whole investigation has been a sham from the get-go anyway. The inflation rate has hit another 40-year high, shattering every record. That's what Joe Biden is here to do. He's here to make history by shattering every bad record there is to shatter. According to the Wall Street Journal, the U.S. consumer inflation accelerated to 9.1% in June, a pace not seen in more than 4 decades, adding pressure on the Federal Reserve more aggressively to slow rapid price increases throughout the economy. The Consumer Price Index advanced for the 12 months ending in June was the fastest pace since November 1981. According to the Labor Department, a big jump in gasoline prices of 11.2% from the previous month, nearly 60% from a year earlier, drove much of the increased. Shelter and food prices were also major contributors. But there are no areas of the American economy that are not inflating. At this point, the June inflation readings exceeded May's 8.6% rate, which, by the way, gave the light to the idea that we had hit an inflection point on inflation. Last month, there was a lot of talk that we have already hit peak inflation. It turns out that was not true. The June inflation again was higher than May. That prompted investors and analysts to debate whether the Fed would consider a 1 percentage point rate increase rather than a 0.75 point rise later this month. The truth is, they probably need a wall up everybody with like a 1.5% increase. All these incremental increases, they ain't going to do it. I wasn't even a podcast the other day with Mohamed El-Erian, of Allianz, has been a guest on this program. And Mohamed El-Erian was saying correctly that the big problem here is that the Fed had the opportunity to hit the brake hard enough to actually stop the inflation. But they risked tipping over into a recession. And instead that he's had to sort of tap the brakes. And the problem is the car has not slowed down nearly enough. And so now they're gonna have to slam the brakes and are going to have to hit the brakes. Firmly, they have to slam the brakes. And the problem is when you slam the brakes, there's a very good shot that the passenger injects right through the windshield because ain't nobody wearing a seatbelt around here. Slowing demand is key to the Fed's goal of restoring price stability in an economy that is still struggling with supply issues. According to the Wall Street Journal, raising interest rates elevates the risk of a recession. Core prices excluding volatile food and energy increased by 5.9% in June from a year earlier. That is slightly less than 6.0% gain according to the Labor Department on a month-to-month basis. Core prices rose at 0.7% in June. That's a little bit more than they did in May. Stocks declined on Wednesday for wavering for much of the day, with the S&P 500 index falling by 0.5%. Bond yields jumped following the inflation report. Yields on longer-term treasuries quickly gave up those gains. Nobody knows where to put their money at this point. Considering there are no safe havens, retailers' ability to shut unwanted inventory could test whether pricing is returning to pre-pandemic patterns. Some retailers like Target have already said they are planning a big discounts in order to get rid of all of their unwanted inventory. A lot of others with robust warehouse capacity like Walmart are likely to hold on to their excess inventory. According to analysts, discounts haven't shown up prominently in inflation figures so far. Prices for apparel, home goods, both of those were on the rise. And again, all of this is the result of terrible economic policy from the Biden administration. Yes, there have been supply chain shocks. Yes, COVID created those supply chain shocks. Sure, war in Ukraine isn't helping things. But the simple fact of the matter is that the inflation rate in the United States is not, as Joe Biden likes to lie, the lowest in the Western world. In fact, it is one of the highest in the Western world. And that is because Joe Biden's proposal, his entire economic strategy was rooted in fair housing, money at people, because this is part of Democrats' core ideological belief, which is that all inequity in the system, all evils in the system, can be fixed by helicopter cash. If you just drop money on people, this will magically fix all of the problems that will rectify all of the inequalities that plague the evil, systemic American society. Well, there's only one problem with that, which is that what you do when you helicopter cash is you inflate things. And this is axiomatic. And yet the axioms were supposedly never going to apply again. And the evidence for that was that in 2008-2009, during the Great Recession, that there was a rather large increase in spending in the United States and inflation didn't follow. But that's because demand was already leveled off here. You had demand that was super hot, because we had heated up the amount of money in the economy, and then you had supply chains, and then you decided to pour more money on top of all of that. Alright, thanks for being here folks. Please receive a big hug from all of us. Let me know down below